Hey everyone, today we'll be going over how to get hired as a software engineer in 2025 and beyond, and without any further hesitation, let's get started. Hey everyone, today we'll be going over how to get hired as a software engineer in 2025 and beyond, and I organized the video in these following three components. So, first I'm going to be discussing about the realities of software engineering, what you need to do in order to stand out, and finally, how to get a job as a software engineer. So, to be able to break down everything, I'm going to discuss the realities in the first part, and how software engineering interviews are not standardized. And the reason why is because we do not know exactly what we're going to get into. It is subjective based on said company, whenever which entity you're going to be applying to, and you may get HackerRank or Code Signal, a take-home project, syndicate panel interviews, case study, lead code questions, system design interviewing, oral questions. Again, very subjective. And the interview process typically is you submit an application, you're then going to wait X amount of time for said callback. It could be the same day, it could be months on end, or even a worst case scenario, someone may even look at your application a year from now. And then finally, if the person on the other end likes your application, they're going to set up a time with you. And then you'll be segued over to the first round, where typically it's going to be a get to know you type of situation, see if you're a good fit and what you're looking for and what they're looking for as well. And it's going to be with either the recruiter or the hiring manager, who would be a stakeholder for that first impression. And if you get a green light as a result from the first call or first interview, then you'll proceed to the next steps, where you either meet with a stakeholder who will make a decision in the hiring process, or you may get a panel interview. Again, you don't know what you'll be getting yourself into. And it's cliche to say, but the best means to be able to prepare for software engineering interviews is to study data structures and algorithms, either revisit them or study them, depending on where you're at. And even system design overview, that's going to be your best probability, because again, you don't know exactly what you're going to be getting if you apply to a large amount of companies to start with. And you also need to keep in mind of subjective criteria along the way, just keeping a sense of realism. Because an unfortunate reality you may have to face is that you can always get the questions right. You can study as much as you can, but if they don't want to hire you for any reason, it could be either a culture fit, communication style, or team chemistry, they won't hire you. And then the second part is competition. It so far has gotten really, really competitive. One, because we are connected more globally now, thanks to the internet, and also remote work simultaneously. And as a result from that, employers are overwhelmed with applications to shift through due to oversaturation of the number of candidates that are available right now whenever there is a job posting, and it's very hard for them. They may not even see your application to start with, and it could be months on end as a result from this, because there's a demand of people who actually want to obtain the skills or obtain a given software engineering job at the same time, or get skills along the way. However, right now, and it's also subjective to interest rates simultaneously, and given how many companies are actually pulling out financial incentives to be able to grow a given base, to be able to hire people if they have enough capital, so that way they can produce some form of labor for a given commodity. And a thing to also keep in mind is that there are massive domain disconnects in tech, mostly related between tech and non-technical teams, because you can have stakeholders and individuals who have never been exposed to technical management or technical workflows throughout their life, and they think software can be spit out like constantly like a PDF or something that is very quick and minute. Unfortunately, probably some business administrator in that context. However, that is just another reality to be able to take into consideration. And another thing to also keep in mind is that human beings are social creatures, and unfortunately, as a result from that, they can undermine an individual's work, whether they put their whole being behind becoming a software engineer, whether developing software from scratch, doing a thesis or a dissertation, literally defending that. You have to keep things in mind from people from non-technical backgrounds compared to someone with a technical background. And from a realistic perspective, to keep things in mind from a global stance, there are unfortunate geopolitical biases in the hiring process, especially with visa regulations at the same time, because there are quite a surplus of companies within a given region, not just throughout the rest of the world, whether through sponsoring or non-sponsoring as well. There are going to even be political, cultural dynamics, and individuals who feel more comfortable working with certain individuals from similar backgrounds. It is unfortunate to have in 2025, but hopefully we can move forward as a larger society in a workspace that values meritocracy. Just something important to keep in mind. And another thing to note is that different countries value engineering differently, and labor does get exploited as an unfortunate reality. And the definition of work is defined by financial stakeholders and push for a certain tech centerpiece in hopes of generating revenue, plugging the buzzwords with people literally just suddenly making up new words about certain things you can keep in mind, and they'll try to hire people with certain skills which are very niche to be able to generate said commodity for said revenue. However, whenever they generate said buzzwords, there's going to be a high chance that the stakeholders are not going to have the technical expertise to know how to build everything from scratch or articulate it, execute, and build, which luckily, in your case, that is where you come in and you come to the rescue. So, in order for you to actually stand out, you need to let your work speak for itself. Keep it broad as possible and build a portfolio which showcases your work, not just mentioning or just saying what you're going to do. You've already done the work to start with, and your work in itself should speak for itself. Literally post it on a custom site that you have made from scratch, no Wix, no Squarespace, or anything else that really keeps in mind. You literally need to build everything from the ground up as a software engineer, build software products, and showcase that portfolio in a software environment that you can actually give to someone who is from a non-technical background, saying, hey, I have done this. I hope you were impressed by this. This is my work, and I hope that you enjoy it in that case. And get that satisfaction that really comes in with saying, wow, I built this, and I'm really proud of this. I want to stand by it, and as a result from it, I want to share it with people. That mindset and that sense of craftsmanship is going to help you a long way when becoming an engineer, because you're building stuff that is taking stuff from the abstract and making it into something concrete. And there is a great emotional sense of satisfaction that really comes in with finally creating something that is really thinned out of initially non-existent to something that actually is manifested, that is right there. And it's a pretty enjoyable process just building, and there is that emotional solace that goes with building and then suddenly standing by that. That way you'll be able to ignore the cases of long hours or restless nights, or forget about how much time you're putting into something that is important, and you will give a viable economic return, because you can either see clearly the end result or the process is that enjoyable because on your own individual perspective. And you have to also understand the discipline and respect it. Don't just go in there and wing it simultaneously, or whack it out of the park simultaneously with blinded optimism, because it will deter and lead to false hope and a negative outcome. Instead, realism and being honest with oneself on your own knowledge and skills, saying, hey, I don't know everything, but I'm going to have the courage to go through the mundane, the fundamentals, the basics, in order to know for myself throughout the independent journey. To know exactly what it takes to be an engineer, or any profession for that matter. A metaphor to actually go in. If you call for the interview, the mentality you need to bring is a custom Tom Ford Taylor mentality, saying I'm going to be going in, giving him my 2,000%, not just for the interview, but to show them why I will excel at the job. And here's how I'm going to do it in XYZ fashion. So, finally, how do you get a job as a software engineer? Well, in this matter, you first need to research the company extensively to know the specific pain points of what they're looking for before you even go on to the stakeholder interview. Create a custom project for the company that focuses on their specific pain points and is tailored specifically with their customized tech stack that you already that they already have. You can either pick this up in the first round interviews for the HackerRank code signal, or even the job description simultaneously, and impress them as that first impression is already set up in place. Put together a packaged product for them that also showcases not only your aptitude, but also your work ethic, interest in the company, interest in excelling for them, and what you can do for them already. You have to show them your promise. It also is helpful to incorporate with a PDF deck, executive summary with the product, along with what you built for the company and stakeholders you are interviewing for. The mentality is like showcasing an already made-to-measure suit. Imagine yourself as a custom high-end tailor for Tom Ford or any other type of company that is pretty boutique and very high-end. Imagine that you are a high-end type of tailor, creating a made-to-measure suit for a given client who is an individual looking to buy a suit, and that client is looking for that suit with wool fabric, and it's already custom tailored to their exact measurements with a high sense of craftsmanship, attention to detail, and proof of delivery. If they like the suit, that that suit that you put so much effort into creating, and they have the funds, most likely they will buy it and you will accept the partnership between the two. And finally, believe in yourself. That should be the final statement I should give for this. And yeah, thank you very much for taking the time to watch this. And if you found this video helpful, be sure to feel free to please like and subscribe. And if you have any other questions as well, please put them in the comment section. And good luck on your journey to becoming a software engineer in this year and beyond. Cheers. Bye-bye.